We're just 5 minutes to go until racing gets underway. Welcome to everyone at the venue and listening in at home on worldrowing.com. I'm Jillian O'Mara, together in the tower with Regula Schweitzer. And Regula is actually a local Lucerne inhabitant. She lives just by the Rotsee. Regula, what's it like just to wake up and look out your window and see the Rotsee?
Well, I mean, right now it's just amazing because the boats are back. It's really something we missed last year. But yeah, it's a privilege. I mean, every day, like in the evening, I'm able to just do a tour around the Rotsee, and you all know the place. It's quite, yeah, what shall I say? We have the cows, we have freedom, we have the lake. Yeah, everything a rower can wish for, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now the conditions are looking fantastic, as we're accustomed to in Lucerne. It was a bit odd last week with the final qualification. We had bad weather for the first time, I think, in Lucerne, but it's looking absolutely mirror flat out there on the water right now.
Yeah, like really lucky that it's like we're used to it, and I'm just so happy that we're back to flat waters. Actually, the weather is not really typical for May. Normally, May is a sunny month in Switzerland, but yeah, we all know the weather cannot be ordered, but we are hoping for good weather back next year. So when you're all coming back, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all wish we could order the weather, but yeah, it's not always possible. But we get underway in just a couple of minutes. There are boats up there at the start. All the other crews have been cleared from the water. Any training that was happening over the last few minutes. So the crews are up there at the start. We're going to get underway in the repechage of the men's double sculls. We then move through a full program this afternoon. Just an hour of racing. We end with the repechage races of the lightweight men's double sculls. Regula, maybe if you want to say a few words in German for anyone listening in speaking German.
Ja, sehr gerne. Es geht jetzt noch genau 3 Minuten bis zum Start des ersten Hoffnungslaufes. Wir starten mit dem Männer-Doppel-Zweier und wir haben dann 1 Stunde von Rennen heute noch, weiteren Rennen heute am heutigen Tage und morgen und übermorgen dann die Halbfinals und Finalrennen.
Exactly. Tomorrow and Sunday. Tomorrow with the semi-finals and a few more repechage races. And Sunday we get underway with the medal finals. Some really exciting racing. International crews here for the first time that we've seen them in almost 2 years. So we're really looking forward to the rest of the racing this weekend. And now for the first repechage of the men's double sculls. In lane 1, Finland. In lane 2, Chile. In lane 3, Netherlands 2. In lane 4, Romania. And in lane 5, Great Britain 2.
Und nun zum ersten Hoffnungslauf im Männer-Doppel-Zweier. Bahn 1, Finnland. Bahn 2, China. Bahn 3, Holland 2. Bahn 4, Rumänien. Und Bahn 5, Großbritannien 2.
We're just up there at the start with these crews, the few last tense seconds, last minute before they get underway. In the center lane, that Dutch crew, a very young crew from the Netherlands, just 21, 22 years of age out there on the water representing the Netherlands. But it'll be really interesting to see how all of these crews perform. Just 2 through to the AB semi-final out of this first repechage in the men's double sculls.
Ganz spannend bereits das erste Rennen. Wir haben hier in der Innenbahn auf Bahn 3 ein ganz junges holländisches Boot. Es wird spannend zu sein, wie diese Boote sich jetzt schlagen und welche Boote den Sprung ins Halbfinale schaffen. Dafür qualifizieren sich jeweils die ersten beiden.
And they're off in the first repechage, the first race of this afternoon's racing. Quick start across the board. The Dutch going out there at 50 strokes per minute in the center lane. Romania trying to go with them, this more experienced Romanian crew in lane 4. And then the Chileans in there in lane 2, also trying to stay up at the top of the field. But a very quick start across the board.
Und die Boote sind unterwegs in diesem ersten Hoffnungslauf des Tages. Ist ein ganz schneller Start von allen Booten. Sie nähern sich jetzt die 500-Meter-Marke und in Führung aktuell das Boot aus Großbritannien 2. Aber da ist ganz, ganz eng alles beieinander. Jetzt gerade die Führung bei Rumänien. Wir kennen das aus dem Männer-Doppel-Zweier. Die Schweiz verfolgt diese Bootsklasse immer sehr eng. Mit Roman Rösli und Bernabé Delachs haben wir hier ein Spitzenboot am Start.
So these crews all looking very good off the start, really going bow ball for bow ball as they approach the 400-meter mark. Still very close across the board. I'm seeing it switch between Great Britain, Romania, Netherlands, all at the front of the field as they're settling into their race pace. They're trying to just get their speed going throughout the center section of this race. But the Netherlands and Chile still up at 39 strokes a minute as they come up towards the 400-meter mark.
Und nach wie vor ganz hohe Schlagzahlen, speziell von Chile, aber auch von Holland. Die sind da immer noch Schlagzahl 38 unterwegs, die Boote ganz nahe beieinander. Das ist eigentlich einzig auf der Bahn 1 Finnland, ganz ein wenig zurückgebunden. Aber jetzt haben die Boote gerade die 500-Meter-Marke passiert und Rumänien in Führung in 1,35,78. Aber alle Boote nach wie vor innerhalb von 2,5 Sekunden.
So Romania, the first to show here, coming across the 500-meter mark. This Romanian crew coming out of the European Championships where they finished 5th back in 2020. They were 6th at the World Championships back in 2019. So interesting to see them here in the repechage race. Again, just 2 crews from this repechage race will go through to the AB semi-final in the men's double sculls. And as these crews are coming up towards the 750-meter mark, we'll take you out on the water to our first commentary team, Camilla Hadland and Michael Schmidt out there at the 1,000-meter mark. Romania is out in the lead as they approach you.
Thanks very much, Gillian. And yeah, beautiful conditions out here on the lake after that bout of rain that we've had. It's left it really nice and still. We were just commenting a little bit of a breeze of a sort of cross headwind coming, but really nothing much at all. The water's still pan flat. And as these doubles roll towards us, it is still just about the Romanians that hold the lead. Tight closing in around them though, both the Dutch and the British doubles sort of sandwich them in, but it was certainly the Romanian combination of Anachi and Prundenau who led the way with the qualification times through the heat. They were somewhat faster, and as they approach halfway, they've got about a length over the tussle for that second spot between Great Britain and the Netherlands.
Ja, das rumänische Duo war letztes Wochenende noch zu viert unterwegs. Sie hatten versucht, den rumänischen Doppelvierer für die Olympischen Spiele zu qualifizieren. Das haben sie nicht geschafft. Jetzt sind sie wieder zurück im Zweier und sie zeigen hier im Hoffnungslauf, dass sie auch den Zweier sehr schnell rudern können. Sie führen hier das Rennen an der zweiten Position und dritten Position ist es sehr eng zwischen dem zweiten Boot von Holland und dem zweiten Boot von Großbritannien.
So Romania about a length ahead of the fight for that second and final direct qualification spot through to the AB semi-finals between Great Britain, whose bow ball just hit the 1,000 metres ahead of this young Dutch combination. The 19-year-old Gus Mullet in the stroke seat setting the rhythm for them, and a really gutsy rhythm here to keep them up with the experienced crews at the front of the field and with a chance of qualifying for the AB semi-finals. Out the back, it's Chile followed by Finland in those 4th and 5th positions that will take those crews through to the C final. But wow, what a race for second here, Tim.
Young crew from the Netherlands fighting it on with the crew from Great Britain, with Jonathan Walton there in the bow seat, looking to his right to see where that fast Romanian crew is, and they're about 1.5 length in front of you, and the Dutch are looking very good. Nice fluid cohesion in that crew, but also a shout out to the crew from Chile. They are rowing very well and very punchy, and they are staying with the pack, but out in front, crossing 1,500 meters mark, it's the Romanian crew out out in front, clear water, and then followed by the British, the Dutch slipping back in this third quarter, looking a bit ragged at this stage. Just now they've dropped back. And we can see the crew from Chile trying to take advantage and get into third position, whilst the crew from Finland slips back even further. But great racing from the crew from Romania, well out in front in this first repechage.
The Romanians really using the middle section of that race to make their big move and push out in front of the rest of the field. And then the British just pushing back on that early Dutch lead, that young Dutch crew just getting some experience here. I think they probably don't quite have the sprint in them, but let's see just first two through to the semi-final. And it's currently the British and the Romanians in those two spots.
Und die Boote kommen auf die 1800 Meter Marke, also sie sind mitten in den roten Bojen und die Rumänen, die haben hier souverän sich vor das Feld geschoben. Das sieht ganz gut aus für das rumänische Boot und dahinter sind jetzt die Briten eigentlich in klarer zweiter Position, aber das junge holländische Boot, genauso wie das chilenische Boot, die versuchen hier nochmal was zu machen. Es gibt nur 2 Plätze, das wird aber ganz, ganz schwierig hier auf den letzten Metern die Briten noch abzufangen.
The Romanians looking very calm there. 34 strokes a minute as they come up towards the line on this mirror glass water out there of Lake Rothsay. The British are up at 38 strokes a minute, trying to hold off any late charge that they might get from Chile or the Netherlands. But coming up to the line, Romania looking set to take that first spot through to the AB semi-final. They'll be followed by Great Britain 2. And then coming up towards the line now, Chile has done just enough to get their bow ball ahead of the Dutch. They'll come through in third, the Netherlands in fourth. Those two crews will go through to the C final, and Finland coming up towards the line now will go through to the D final.
Gewonnen hat das Rennen Rumänien vor Großbritannien 2. Diese beiden Boote gehen ins Halbfinale. Rang 3 für Chile, Rang 4 für Holland 2. Diese Boote finden sich wieder im C-Finale und ins D-Finale geht es für Finnland auf Rang 5.
Begins with a C, doesn't it?
And coming down the course now, the second repechage of the men's double sculls. In lane 1, Egypt. In lane 2, Venezuela. In lane 3, the United States of America. In lane 4, Lithuania. In lane 5, the Czech Republic. And in lane 6, Switzerland 2.
Und jetzt auf der Strecke der zweite Hoffnungslauf im Männer-Doppel-Zweier. Bahn 1 Ägypten, Bahn 2 Venezuela, Bahn 3 die Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika, Bahn 4 Litauen, Bahn 5 Tschechien und Bahn 6 das zweite Boot aus der Schweiz mit Kai Schätzle und Tim Roth.
They're rocketing towards the 900-meter mark, and Lithuania is just ahead of the Czech Republic, Camilla.
Yeah, these Lithuanians with some big shoes to fill, in fact, actually. A boat type that holds a lot of pedigree in Lithuania. And it is a great start here for this duo that lead through the halfway marker, but only just because they're being hunted down by the Czech Republic, who are closing on them quickly. Jan Chinchebusch and Jakub Podrazul, second at the final Olympic qualification regatta, and riding on that high as they start to move through Lithuania. But 2 spots through to the AB semi-final. And I think the closest boat to be able to close that down, perhaps the Swiss, Michael.
Ja, genau. Die Schweizer auf der Außenbahn versuchen alles, um am tschechischen Boot dran zu bleiben. Das tschechische Boot hat sich letzte Woche für die Olympischen Spiele noch nachqualifizieren können und rudert hier momentan ebenfalls auf dem 2. Platz. Angeführt wie das Rennen vom Boot aus Litauen.
So as they rattle down towards 500 metres to go, it is still the Lithuanians, but only just with the Czech Republic closing in. Do you think that the home crowd are going to see the Swiss qualify for the AB semi-final here, Tim?
Going to be a tough last 750 for that young crew from Switzerland to make that happen, Camilla. Just 2 crews through to the AB semi-final, and currently it's still Lithuania out in front and the Czech Republic looking very good too. And they actually increased their lead by about a meter in the last couple of 100 meters. So they're really moving that Czech double. And the Swiss with Tim Roth in the stroke seat, looking a quick look to their right to see where the competition is, and they have to get moving because there is only 500 meters left in this race to get into the AB semi-final. The Lithuanians dropping back slightly. The crew from the Czech Republic really hammering along. There comes the push from the crew from Switzerland. They are really powering it down. And the Peter Mansfeld coach crew from the United States of America, currently in 4th position, also going for a change of gear. A bit further back we have the crew from Venezuela and Egypt. So they are out of it. They will be heading to the C and D finals. But out in front is still everything to play for the AB semi-finals, Gillian.
I think you're right, Tim. If the Swiss have a good sprint, they might just be able to catch back up with that crew from the Czech Republic. The US just slipping back a little bit now. I'm not sure they quite have it in them, but they're into the red buoys, and it's still Lithuania leading the Czech Republic.
Und Sie haben es vernommen, jetzt geht es um alles, respektive um den Halbfinal für das junge Schweizer Boot. Kai Schätzle und Team Roth sind hier aktuell noch auf dem 3. Platz, mitten in den Bojen. Es sind noch gut 200 Meter zu rudern und sie attackieren hier das führende Duo, aber nach wie vor in Führung Litauen vor der Tschechischen Republik und Tschechien. Die haben sich letzte Wochenende qualifiziert. Können sie das über die Ziellinie bringen? Es sieht gut aus, aber die Schweizer erhöhen hier noch einmal die Schlagzahl. Es wird ganz eng.
It's a valiant effort from the Swiss. They're desperately trying to get back into one of those top 2 positions, but I think Lithuania and the Czech Republic have control of this race. The Swiss are up at 41 strokes a minute as they come into the final strokes. Lithuania glancing over the shoulder just to see where the Swiss are, but coming across the line, I think it's Lithuania ahead of the Czech Republic, and Switzerland too just coming through in 3rd. I'll confirm that once it comes up on the screen. A very close finish. The United States coming up to the line now. They will take 4th. Then we look back at the rest of the field. Venezuela coming through in 5th and Egypt 6th.
Und es ist so, es hat leider nicht ganz gereicht für das Schweizer Team. Im ersten Rang Litauen, ganz knapp vor der Tschechischen Republik, Platz 3 und damit das C-Finale für die Schweiz, Platz 4 für die Amerika und im 5. Rang sehen wir Venezuela und Ägypten Rang 6.
Just to confirm those places for you, Lithuania coming across first, the Czech Republic just a tenth of a second behind them. Those 2 crews will progress through to the AB semi-final. We head back to the course for the repechage of the lightweight women's single sculls. In lane 1, Norway. In lane 2, Belarus won. In lane 3, Great Britain. In lane 4, Japan. And in lane 5, the Netherlands 2.
Und es geht weiter mit dem Hoffnungslauf im Leichtgewichtsfrauen Einer, Bahn 1 Norwegen, Bahn 2 Weißrussland das erste Boot, Bahn 3 Großbritannien, Bahn 4 Japan und Bahn 5 Holland das zweite Boot.
These crews are approaching the 800-meter mark, and it's a very tight race between the Dutch and the British, with Belarus not far off. How does it look to you, Camilla?
Yeah, it was a great start for Great Britain's Maddie Arlott in the centre lane, the Edinburgh University athlete, with a very quick start to 500 metres, but everyone else wanting to be in the mix for these first 3 spots through to the AB semi-final, and her lead has been closed and if not overtaken by the Japanese sculler, the Dutch sculler Femke van Vliet in lane number 5. With every single stroke she picks the boat up and she puts it that little bit further ahead of Maddie Arlott of Great Britain. For 3rd space, it's still overlap in the middle of the course for Tatiana Hancharova of Belarus, and she did struggle a little bit at this point in the heats. She just clipped a buoy at 1,000 metres in her previous race, but she's managed to come through the course so far unharmed. And as we go through the 1,000 metres, it's Netherlands 2, Great Britain, Belarus, and trailing behind Norway and Japan.
Es sieht sehr gut aus für die Niederländerin, für Niederland 2, Femke van der Vliet. Sie führt hier das Rennen an, etwa eine Länge vor Maddie Arlott aus Großbritannien. Auf dem 3. Rang ist Tatjana Hancharova, welche sich momentan ebenfalls für das Halbfinale qualifizieren würde.
Some lovely sculling in that second 500 metres for Femke van der Vliet of the Netherlands, the second Dutch sculler in this event for the Dutch. And as she moves every stroke just that little bit further away from Great Britain, Tim, I'm sure you'll be pleased to see this.
Yeah, thanks, Camilla. Definitely great to see Femke van der Vliet doing so well in this repechage. She's only 21 years old, so she's actually an under 23, but she's given the opportunity here to race in Lucerne, and she's taken that opportunity to get herself into the AB semi-final, no doubt, because she's really trucking along very nicely, well and truly in the lead with 600 meters left to row. She looks really composed on the mirror flat conditions here at the Rothsee. Going with her, it's Madeleine Arlett from Great Britain, still in second position, and third currently is Hancharova from Belarus, who is fending off a charge coming from the Norwegian sculler on the far side in lane number 1, Oda Agisen from Norway, who is currently in fourth position, with the Japanese sculler Yamario in fifth position. But Femke van der Vliet from the Utrecht student club Triton. She will make her club proud to get into the AB semi-final and progress through in this Lucerne regatta. And I think she is well and truly safe with just 400 meters left to go, as is Madeleine Arlett. So not really exciting racing, although we can see a little push now from the back markers. But those three crews, so that's the Netherlands, Great Britain and Belarus, look to me to be going to the AB semi-final, with the rest having to contend the C final.
That's absolutely right, Tim. Those top three crews just pulling themselves away from the trailing two, and again 3 through to the AB semi-final. So it's looking at this point quite safe for the Dutch, the British, and the sculler from Belarus. But what a great scull from Femke van der Vliet. She doesn't come into this repechage with the fastest time out of this morning's heat, but she's just having a very nice race here as she comes towards the red buoy. She's able to look back on the rest of the field.
Und das führende Boot aus Holland hat soeben die roten Bojen erreicht. Hier eine wirklich souveräne Vorstellung der jungen Holländerin. Sie führt dieses Rennen an vor den Athletinnen aus Großbritannien und aus Weißrussland. Für diese drei Ruderinnen sieht es sehr gut aus, dass sie sich für den Halbfinale qualifizieren können. Die beiden Athletinnen aus Japan und Norwegen, da sieht es dann auch aus, als es für sie im C-Finale weitergeht.
Just keeping an eye on the sculler from Japan and Norway just to see if they can push back up, but I think it's a bit too late. These first three scullers have done enough in the middle of this race just to secure those spots through to the AB semi-final. So Femke van der Vliet is coming towards the finish line for the Netherlands. The second sculler here, the young Dutch sculler, qualifying her boat for the AB semi-final as she comes up to the line now. Great Britain looking set to take that second spot through to the AB semi-final, and just a little bit of a push here from Belarus to ensure that she captures that place ahead of the sculler from Japan. But coming across the line, she does. Belarus one comes through in third, Japan in fourth, and fifth will go to Norway.
Und das Rennen wird gewonnen von Holland vor Großbritannien und Belarus. Vierter Rang für Japan und fünfter Rang für Norwegen.
Racing back up to the 1,000-meter mark, where the repechage of lightweight men's single sculls is already underway. In lane 1, Japan. In lane 2, Algeria 1. In lane 3, Portugal. In lane 4, the United States of America. In lane 5, Sweden. And in lane 6, Spain.
Und im Männerleichtgewichtseiner Bahn 1 Japan, Bahn 2 Algerien, Bahn 3 Portugal, Bahn 4 USA, Bahn 5 Schweden und Bahn 6 Spanien.
These crews are just passing you, Camilla, at the 1,000-meter mark.
Yeah, it's a great race out at the front of the field for first and second, and in fact a great race behind going on for the third and final spot through to the AB semi-final. It was Spain's Patricio Rojas Aznar that led the way, the sixth place at the Europeans, fresh in his mind and fighting it out alongside Dinis Costa of Portugal, who's looking to make a comeback after not racing since the 2019 World Championships. Behind them, the Japanese sculler looking to make an impact, Masayuki Mayura, and following that, the US debutant James McCulloch.
Ja, der Ruderer von Spanien, Patricio Rojas, hat einen sehr schnellen Start hingelegt und die ersten 1000 Meter dann auch als schnellster zurückgelegt. Er wird verfolgt vom Ruderer aus Portugal, welcher nur ganz wenig zurück ist und jetzt sogar den Spanier überholen konnte.
And as they scull into the distance away from us here at the 1,000-metre marker, Tim, it looks like Dinis Costa of Portugal's made a real move in that third 500.
Yeah, definitely, Camilla. He's really taken the lead. The Spanish sculler Rojas Aznar has really dropped back in the rest of the field, and actually he more or less stopped rowing at the 1500, seeing he probably went too far, too hard out in the first part of the race, and now having to pay for that. So out in front, it's good rowing from the Portuguese Denis Durate Costa. He's leading this race, and going with him is also the Swedish sculler, and on the far side a great race from Kamel Ait Daoud from Algeria in third position.
Yeah, they're coming up towards us, towards the final stages of this race, and it's really shifted over the course of the race. Dinis Costa just going out a bit sluggish and then coming through the 1500-meter mark in the lead, but I think we still could see some changes as they come into the red buoys.
Absolut noch alles offen auf den letzten 200 Metern. Aktuell nach wie vor in Führung, der Athlet aus Portugal, Dinis Costa. Er führt vor dem Japaner auf der Bahn 1, der hier ein ganz starker dritter 500er hingelegt hat. Aber auch Schweden nach wie vor dabei. Also hier ist noch alles offen. Sieht aber gut aus für diese drei Ruderer. Mal schauen, ob da sich noch jemand reinhängen kann.
So Dinis Costa of Portugal still out in the lead, but a very tight race between Sweden and Japan developing here. And then watch out for the United States, because he's in that fourth spot, trying to get into that third spot to go directly through to the AB semi-final. He takes his rate up to 41 strokes a minute as he tries to get back into contention. I see a look across from Miyaru, the Japanese sculler, on the near side, and he digs on. He finds the courage there to try and stay ahead of the American as they come down to the line. I think Dinis Costa is just going to hold on for Portugal to take that first spot. Second spot will go through to Sweden, and third spot through to Japan, just over the United States of America. Fantastic race in this repechage of the lightweight men's single sculls. We look back to the rest of the field. I think Algeria 1 will come through in fifth, and Spain has just taken the rate right down. He will come through in sixth.
Was für ein spannender Finish. Gewonnen wurde das Rennen von Schweden vor Japan und Portugal. Ganz knapp dahinter Amerika auf dem vierten Rang. Ich korrigiere mich. Amerika hat hier noch den dritten Rang geholt. Der vierte Rang für Algerien. Hier ist irgendwie etwas noch auf dem Monitor nicht korrekt. Wir korrigieren das, sobald wir die offiziellen Angaben haben. Entschuldigen Sie bitte.
Just to reconfirm those positions for you coming up on the screen now. First through was Portugal. Second went through to Sweden, Ahmed Rapi. Third for Japan, with the United States coming through in fourth, just missing out, and he will head to the C final.
Und jetzt die korrigierten Resultate. Rang 1 für Portugal, Rang 2 für Schweden und Rang 3 für Japan. Vierter Platz und damit nicht im Halbfinale die USA.
Now on the course, the repechage of the women's single sculls. In lane 1, Sweden. In lane 2, Trinidad and Tobago. In lane 3, Belarus. In lane 4, the Netherlands. In lane 5, Cuba. And in lane 6, Mexico. We're going to jump straight out onto the water to Camilla and Michi. How does it look there at the 1,000-meter mark?
Yeah, some great action here in the middle of the field. It's been Tatiana Klimovic for Belarus that's led the way. The 26-year-old was in a really savage heat this morning alongside Russia, Great Britain and Switzerland. So no surprise she's had to come through this repechage, but she's dominating it in style out ahead of a nice little battle going on between Kenya Lechuga Alanis of Mexico and Bentha Bonstra of the Netherlands.
Ja, Tatiana Klimovic hat hier eine super Vorstellung bis jetzt abgeliefert in diesem Hoffnungslauf des Frauen-Einers. Sie führt das Rennen an und es sieht auch sehr gut aus, nachdem sie jetzt langsam der 1500 Meter entgegenkommen. Auf dem zweiten Platz ist momentan das Boot aus den Niederlanden und auf dem dritten Platz Mexiko.
These single sculls head towards the 500 metre to go marker. Tim, is it still Klimovic that's dominating this race?
Yes, Camilla, it's definitely Klimovic from Belarus out in front, rating 30 strokes a minute, so she's not really feeling much pressure from the other crews. But going with her and having a great repechage is Bentha Bonstra from the Netherlands in second position. She's increased her advantage in the third 500 meters over the sculler from Mexico, who has just slipped back into third position. But still 500 meters left to row. Klimovic out in front by a little over a boat length, followed by Bentha Bonstra. Then it's Mexico. Then it's a tight tussle between Sweden and Cuba. And in fact, the sculler from Trinidad and Tobago in sixth position. But Klimovic taking her revenge in this repechage and going to that AB semi-final, I think. And then it's a great race from Bentha Bonstra to claim second, and following her it's still I think the sculler from Mexico who are looking to go to the AB semi.
That's exactly right, Tim. And I think savage heat this morning is the right way to describe it. Camilla for the sculler from Belarus, a very close race. She just got nipped at the finish line by Janine Gemelin. So she's here getting back her chance to get into the AB semi-final out in the lead. But also impressive stuff from the young Dutch sculler Bentha Bonstra, still managing to stay in that second spot as they come into the red buoys.
Und die Boote kommen jetzt zu den roten Bojen und als erstes kommt da Tatjana Klimovic von Weißrussland und sie hat heute Morgen ganz knapp die direkte Halbfinalqualifikation verpasst. Sie haben das wahrscheinlich gesehen, das war der Vorlauf mit Janine Gemelin, wo sie auf den 4. Rang gerudert ist. Sie sieht jetzt aber sehr gut aus, diesen Hoffnungslauf zu gewinnen und zwar vor den holländischen Ruderin auf der Bahn 4. Dahinter dann sieht es gut aus für Kuba aktuell und Mexiko. Mexiko natürlich in Führung hier noch, Entschuldigung.
So Tatiana Klimovic just glancing to her left there, trying to see where the Dutch sculler is and glancing a little bit farther to her left to see Lechuga Alanis of Mexico, just to make sure those two are staying behind her. But as they come up to the line, those three scullers looking set to take those spots through to the AB semi-final. Tatiana Klimovic across the line for Belarus, then the Netherlands, Bentha Bonstra, and across the line for Mexico, Kenya Lechuga Alanis just ahead of Sweden and Cuba coming across. And then we look back, a little bit of open water back to Trinidad and Tobago.
Und das Rennen gewonnen hat Belarus vor Holland und Mexiko, Rang 4 für Schweden, Rang 5 Kuba und 6. Platz für Trinidad und Tobago.
Storming this way is the first of 4 quarterfinals in the men's single sculls. In lane 1, Moldova. Lane 2, Brazil. 3, Belarus. Greece, Netherlands 1, and Japan. We're going to head all the way out to the water. They're already past the 1,000-meter mark. Camilla, how's the race shaping up?
Surprised to hear that Stefanos Natuskas of Greece is motoring away. He's got clear water ahead of the rest of this field, and I think his name firmly stamped onto one of those three AB semi-final spots. But where the others are going to come, who knows? Making a really good move past us here in the commentary box at 1,000 meters was actually Ryuta Arakawa of Japan. He just lifted the rating somewhat and started to move his way through. Finn Florijn of the Netherlands in the lane next to him, and these two closing in on second place. Philip Pavuku.
Ja, der Grieche Stefanos Natuskas, der hat wirklich eine fantastische Vorstellung hier auf den ersten 1000 Meter abgegeben. Er hat etwa mehr als eine Länge eine Führung herausgerudert auf die Ruderer aus Weißrussland, den Niederlanden und Japan. Aber es ist noch ganz eng um den dritten Platz. Wir sind gespannt, wie sich das Rennen weiterhin entwickelt.
Well, it's all hotting up for those three spaces. I think Natuskas, as I say, with the one firmly booked there. But Tim, how about the other two places?
Well, it's a great race shaping up here for those three spots into the AB semi-finals. As you mentioned, Stefanos Natuskas from Greece out in front, more than a boat length clear of the rest of the field. But very close to me, it's Arakawa from Japan, actually just into second position over the scholar from Belarus in lane number 3. And the sandwich between them, we still have Finn Florijn from the Netherlands, who is trying to get back into the AB semi-final spots, but he has a lot of work to do in the last 400 meters of this race. On the far side, we can see the scholars from Moldova and Brazil. I think they're out of it. They have left it too late to get back into A and B semi-final contention. But Giovanni Postiglione rower in Stefanos Natuskas is well out in front, and I think he is definitely going to the AB semi-final. And I reckon the Japanese scholar and the scholar from Belarus are not going to let their AB semi-final slip in the last couple of 100 meters.
I think you're right about that, Tim. Such a fantastic performance from Stefanos Natuskas of Greece. Really fantastic to see how he's progressed so far this season, qualifying for the Olympic Games in Tokyo and here out in the lead as they come into the last 150 meters.
Eine ganz souveräne Vorstellung des griechischen Athleten, der hier das ganze Rennen hindurch geführt hat. Er führt nach wie vor dem japanischen Ruderer, der wiederum nur ganz knapp vor Belarus auf dem zweiten Rang ist. Aber das sieht so aus, als ob diese drei Ruderer jetzt wirklich Richtung Halbfinal fahren. Der Holländer versucht hier nochmals ranzukommen, aber da ist der Abstand wahrscheinlich zu groß auf den letzten Metern.
The last few strokes here for Natuskas. He's going to take that first spot in this first quarterfinal of the men's single sculls. He's going to be followed across the line by Arakawa of Japan and then Philip Pavuku of Belarus. Those three will go through to the AB semi-finals. Coming through in that fourth spot, Finn Florijn of the Netherlands. He will go through to the C final. Then we have Lucas Ferreira of Brazil coming through in fifth. He will head to the C or the D final. That's still to be determined. And coming through in sixth is Moldova.
Und Griechenland hat das Rennen gewonnen vor Japan und Belarus. Diese drei Boote gehen ins Halbfinale. Rang 4 für Holland, Rang 5 Brasilien und Rang 6 Moldawien.
We go back out onto the course for the second quarterfinal of the men's single sculls. In lane 1, Sweden. In lane 2, Italy won. In lane 3, Lithuania won. In lane 4, Denmark. In lane 5, Ireland. And in lane 6, Germany 2.
Und im zweiten Viertelfinal im Männer-Einer haben wir Bahn 1 Schweden, Bahn 2 Italien das erste Boot, Bahn 3 Litauen das erste Boot, Bahn 4 Dänemark, Bahn 5 Irland und Bahn 6 Deutschland das zweite Boot, Stefan Riemekasten.
Sverre Nielsen of Denmark out to the lead as they're passing you, Camilla.
Yeah, beautiful to watch Nielsen sculling out here for Denmark. He's just shy of a length ahead of the Lithuanian Saulius Ritter that sits just to his right, and Nielsen already beat out the other Lithuanian sculler in this morning's heat, Griškonis. He's now proceeding to try and do that again, pushing Ritter back into second, but very hot on their heels in third. It's Der Lynch of Ireland. He failed to qualify through the FOQR just last weekend, but that doesn't seem to have tired him out somewhat here for this second World Cup of the season.
Ja, es sieht sehr gut aus für den Dänen Sverri Nielsen. Er führt dieses Rennen hier an vor Saulius Ritter aus Litauen. Auf dem dritten Platz vielleicht etwas überraschend der Ire Der Lynch. Letzte Woche konnte er nicht in den Finale einfahren an der finalen Olympia-Qualifikationsregatta. Aber hier ist er vor dem Italiener Simone Martini, welcher sich selber qualifiziert hat für die Olympischen Spiele an der Weltmeisterschaft 2019 in Linz.
Well, perhaps surprising to see someone like Simone Martini here off the pace in this event. He sits back in fourth position, but have our top three still proceeded towards you in that order, Tim?
Yeah, the top three looking great. Camilla, with Sverri Nielsen still looking very relaxed as he approaches the last 500 meters of this race. He had an easy heat this morning, taking it with without much degree of difficulty, and it's the same here in this quarterfinal, where he's just tapping it along, and going with him is Saulius Ritter from Lithuania, still in the second position, but I think Sverri Nielsen took about half a length more out of the Lithuanian in the third 500, and still going with him it's also Der Lynch from Ireland. Fourth position I think was for Riemekaster from Germany, followed by Martini from Italy, and on the far side I think it is still Eskil Borg in sixth position, but not much has changed in the third 500, but Gilly, perhaps something will change in the last 250.
I'm not sure. Maybe those places will switch around just slightly between second and third, but I think things are looking very set for Sverri Nielsen of Denmark to take that first spot out of this second quarterfinal of the men's single sculls.
Und die Boote sind bereits in den roten Bojen in diesem zweiten Viertelfinale im Männer-Einer, und das sieht ganz gut aus für Sverri Nielsen, der hier ein ganz souveränes Rennen zeigt. Er führt weiterhin vor Saulius Ritter aus Litauen. Jetzt aktuell haben wir nach wie vor Der Lynch hier auf dem dritten Platz. Er scheint also gar nicht ermüdet zu sein vom letzten Wochenende. Für diese drei Ruderer sieht es sehr gut aus. Dahinter dann aktuell noch Vierter, aber angegriffen vom deutschen Boot, jetzt gerade gleich auf. Italien und Deutschland gleich auf, und dann im sechsten Zwischenrang die Schweden.
Nielsen was up at 35 strokes a minute through the third quarter of the race just to get his lead and maintain it. But as he comes towards the finish line, he's gone down to 30 strokes per minute, just tapping that boat along. He looks set in the front of the field. He can react to anything going on behind him. But he comes up to the line. Sverri Nielsen taking the first spot out of this quarterfinal in the men's single sculls. Coming through in second, Saulius Ritter of Lithuania, and third to Der Lynch of Ireland. Those three through to the AB semi-final. Then we have Stephen Reemekasten of Germany 2 coming across in fourth, followed by Simone Martini of Italy 1, and through in sixth, Eskil Borg of Sweden.
Und die Halbfinalisten im zweiten Viertelfinal sind bestimmt. Dänemark gewinnt das Rennen vor Litauen und Irland. Auf den weiteren Rängen auf dem vierten Platz Stefan Riemekasten, fünfter Italien und sechster Platz für Schweden.
It's fast and furious. We head back up for the third quarterfinal of the men's single sculls. In lane 1, Egypt 1. In lane 2, the Czech Republic. In lane 3, Italy 2. In lane 4, Norway 1. In lane 5, Bermuda. And in lane 6, Benin.
Und wir sind im dritten Viertelfinal im Männer 1, Bahn 1, Ägypten 1, Bahn 2, die Tschechische Republik, Bahn 3, Italien das zweite Boot, Bahn 4, Norwegen 1, Bahn 5, Bermuda und Bahn 6, Benin.
We have such a high-class field competing here in the men's single sculls. Kettelborsch out to the lead, but a very impressive scull from the young Gennaro Di Mauro, Camilla.
Yeah, Di Mauro really had a brave row in that first 500 metres. He actually led Borch to both the 500-metre marker and a bit beyond, but it was actually Borch that's now just come through. But, well, Gennaro Di Mauro really throwing everything at it. He's raised the rating, the 19-year-old, just to try and keep touch. He's at 35 strokes a minute. Borch working hard up at 36. These two huge amounts of clear water back to the legend Ondřej Synek of the Czech Republic, the 38-year-old sitting in that third spot to qualify for the AB semis.
Ja, der jüngste Ruderer dieses Rennens, Gennaro Di Mauro, der hat das Heft in die Hand genommen und die ersten 1000 Meter als schnellster zurückgelegt. Danach wurde er etwas überholt vom Norweger, vom Kjetil Borch, aber im Moment ist er noch souverän auf zweiter Position, immer noch vor dem fünffachen Weltmeister aus Tschechien, Ondřej Synek.
Well, I think Borch, the experience of the Norwegian now just starting to push ahead of the Italian, but what a gutsy race here from Di Mauro of Italy, Tim.
Yeah, definitely. The young Italian going out hard from the first strokes, but having to pay the dividends at this part of the race in the third 500. Kettelborg just moving along, still rating 36 strokes a minute, so he really wants that first position from this quarter-final. And Di Mauro now just easing off so ever so slightly, because the five-time world champion Ondřej Synek is several boat lengths of clear water behind the Italian in third position. So those three crews out in the lead, and following them on the far side we have the sculler from Egypt and the sculler from I think that's Benin, who's oh no, that's not correct, it's actually from Bermuda. He is currently in fifth position. Sixth will be the Privel Henkati from Benin. But Kettelborg just easing off ever so slightly, 34 strokes a minute as he approaches Hugh Gillian in the finish tower.
Yeah, Tim, that 34 strokes a minute, I think he's still going at it a little bit. Impressive stuff from Kettelborg. He doesn't like to go, he doesn't like to rate slowly, so he's still up at 33 strokes a minute. But Gennaro Di Mauro from Italy gone down to 30 strokes a minute, and Ondřej Synek also gone down to 28 strokes a minute. Those three crews are looking quite set to go through to the AB semi-final.
Und Kjetil Borch hier also in den roten Bojen in Führung. Er ist nach wie vor auf Schlagzahl 30. Er kontrolliert dieses Rennen aber klar. Und ihr habt es gehört, ein ganz beeindruckendes Rennen vom ersten 19-jährigen Italiener Gennaro Di Mauro. Er also hier auf dem zweiten Platz. Er kontrolliert das Geschehen. Und dahinter ist ja kein geringerer auf Rang 3 als Ondřej Synek. Aber man kann auch davon ausgehen, dass dieser in Anführungs- und Schlusszeichen alte Hase im Rudersport, fünffacher Weltmeister, hier seine Kräfte genau einteilt für das Rennwochenende. Also für diese drei Ruderer sieht es sehr gut aus. Auf den weiteren Plätzen dann die Athleten aus Ägypten, Bermuda und Benin.
Kettelborg looking very calm and collected as he comes up to the line to take that first spot out of this third quarterfinal in the men's single sculls, just tapping it across. And now Italy 2, Gennaro Di Mauro will take that second spot and go through to the AB semi-final, followed by Ondřej Synek of the Czech Republic. Coming through in fourth will be Egypt. Fifth coming through will be Bermuda, and sixth will go to Privel Henkati of Benin.
Und keine Veränderungen über der Ziellinie. Rang 1 für Kjetil Borch aus Norwegen, Rang 2 Italien, Rang 3 Tschechien und dann Rang 4 für Ägypten, Bermuda auf dem 5. Platz und gleich wird auch Benin im 6. Rang das Rennen beenden.
On to the last quarterfinal of the men's single sculls. In lane 1, Norway 2. In lane 2, Belgium. In lane 3, Germany 1. In lane 4, the United States of America. In lane 5, Lithuania 2. And in lane 6, Zimbabwe.
Und wir kommen zum letzten Viertelfinale im Männer-Einer. Bahn 1, Norwegen 2. Bahn 2, Belgien. Bahn 3, Deutschland 1, Oliver Zeidler. Bahn 4, die USA. Bahn 5, Litauen 2. Und Bahn 6, Zimbabwe.
It's the big man, Oliver Zeidler, in the middle lane as they approach the 1,000-meter mark out in the lead, Camilla.
Yes, two heavyweights of the single sculling world out in front, and Zeidler with not as much of a lead as you'd expect in a quarter-final. Only half a length back to Mindaugas Grigonis of Lithuania that sits over in lane number 5, but then the race for third. Wow, this is a great one. It was Tristan van den Busche of Belgium, the silver medalist from the Tokyo Junior World Championships, that just led the man from Cincinnati, John Graves of the USA, and also on the near on the far side, Norway and Zimbabwe all in contention. But yeah, great race up at the front of the field.
Ja, Oliver Zeidler zeigt wieder mal, dass einer der Größten ist und das führt das Rennen hier an. Gefolgt wird er von Mindaugas Grigonis auf zweiter Position. Diese beiden Ruderer können sich relativ sicher sein um ihren Halbfinalplatz. Dahinter ist ein heftiger Kampf zwischen dem Ruderer aus Belgien und dem Ruderer aus den USA, aber der Belgier konnte sich jetzt nun leicht absetzen und sieht so aus, dass es Deutschland, Litauen und Belgien sind, welche ins Halbfinale einziehen können.
Well, I think we'd expect Zeidler and Grigonis to be up at the front of the field, but the young Belgian Tristan van den Busche, the 20-year-old, holding that third and final place, but can he hold off the pushes from the USA and Norway, Tim?
That's going to be, I think that's possible for the young Belgian sculler, just 20 years of age. He won silver at juniors in this event in 2019. So only recently he made the step to the senior level. But he's a couple of lengths back on the leading duo of Zeidler and Grigonis, who have decreased their rate just 31 strokes a minute in the knowledge that they'll be going through the AB semi-final. But it's a great result for Tristan van den Busche if he can get his bow ball over the finish line in third and claiming a spot in the AB semi-final. Going with them, there's still some racing to be done for the minor places in this quarter-final with the Norwegian sculler and the sculler from Zimbabwe, Peter Purcell-Gilpin, fighting it out, but that's too little too late, and I think John Graves from the USA also out of contention for a place in the AB semis. But Oliver Zeidler looking in control of this race, actually rating 33 strokes a minute to make sure he crosses the line first, Gilly.
That's right, Tim. I think Ollie Zeidler likes to race from the front of the pack and look back on the rest of the field, and he's doing that at the moment, just watching where Mindaugas Grigonis is from Lithuania, but looking very in control as they come into the final strokes.
Ja, und auf die letzten Meter kommen die beiden Führenden hier in diesem Viertelfinal. Oliver Zeidler hat es hier ziemlich unter Kontrolle gemeinsam mit Mindaugas Grigonis aus Litauen. Also diese Boote sehr ungefährdet auf den ersten beiden Plätzen und dann gefolgt vom jungen Belgier, der hier einen sehr schönen Auftritt zeigt und sich hier auch, so wie es aussieht, ganz souverän ins Halbfinale rudert.
Ollie Zeidler crosses the line first in this fourth quarterfinal of the men's single sculls, followed by Mindaugas Grigonis of Lithuania. Then we have the Belgian sculler Tristan van den Busche. He comes across in third to claim a spot into the AB semi-final. Coming through in fourth, Petter Tufte of Norway 2. And then crossing the line in fifth is Peter Purcell-Gilpin of Zimbabwe, and John Graves from the United States will come through in sixth.
Gewonnen hat dieses Rennen Oliver Zeidler vor Mindaugas Grigonis aus Litauen und im dritten Rang der junge Belgier Tristan van den Busche. Rang 4 für Norwegen, Rang 5 für Zimbabwe und am 6. Platz für die USA.
On the course now, the penultimate race of this afternoon's program, the repechage of the lightweight men's double sculls. In lane 1, Egypt. In lane 2, Switzerland. In lane 3, China. In lane 4, Belgium 2. And in lane 5, Norway 2. They're already past the 1,000-meter mark, so we'll jump straight out onto the water and see how this race is shaping up, Camilla.
Yeah, great tight race here up at the front of the field, and one for the home fans, in fact, as it was Switzerland leading very, very narrowly ahead of Belgium too and Norway. And with the Swiss crowd, I'm sure, keeping a keen ear on this one, I'm going to pass you over to Michael.
Das Schweizer Boot mit Can Struzina und Raphael Aumada. Sie führen dieses Rennen an mit etwa einer Länge Vorsprung auf die restlichen Boote. Und ich bin sicher, sie wollen zeigen, dass der gute 4. Rang am Weltcup in Zagreb kein Zufallsprodukt war, sondern dass sie wirklich sehr schnell rudern können. Und das machen sie momentan. Raphael Aumada wurde erst gestern 20-jährig und Can Struzina ist noch 19-jährig, also wirklich sehr junge Ruder. Aber sie machen hier einen abgeklärten Eindruck.
Well, it's possibly the most animated that I've heard the athlete area from the far side of the lake all day. Lots of cries from the organising committee, I'm sure, for Struzina and Mada of Switzerland. And as they fire towards you, Tim, is the race closing up at the front?
Yeah, ever so slightly, but the Swiss crew look very good in this first repechage. The young combination, they were 4th in Zagreb, just missed out on a medal a couple of weeks ago at the first World Cup. And here you can hear the cowbells coming from the other side of the bank as the Swiss lead through the 1500 meter mark. But it's a very close race with China, the second crew from Belgium, and the Norwegian crew all moving to the front of this race. So I don't think the Swiss crew is safe for a AB semi-final spot, because you can already see the Belgian crew winding it up as they go, and the crew from Norway already at 36 strokes a minute, and the Chinese also responding, going to 37 strokes. So it's going to be a very tight race in the final stages, Gillian.
Yes, it is, Tim. The Chinese are just winding it up again. They're at 38 strokes a minute. They're closing in on the Swiss crew. The Belgians are going with them. It's just Norway that actually seems to be dropping off the pace a little bit here as they come into the red buoys. Can the Swiss hold on in front of this fast-moving Chinese crew?
Ja, und jetzt ist es ganz spannend in den roten Bojen. Nach wie vor Struzina Almude Ireland in Führung, aber die Chinesen, die greifen hier an und sind im Moment schneller unterwegs als die Schweizer, haben ihre Schlagzahl auf 38 erhöht. Das sieht eigentlich, ja, jetzt in diesem Moment haben die Chinesen ganz knapp die Führung übernommen, aber das Schweizer Boot nach wie vor auf dem 2. Rang, gefolgt von Belgien, und es sieht so aus, als ob Norwegen abreißen lassen musste, und das würde dann heißen, die Halbfinalqualifikation wäre geschafft. Man darf es aber nicht so früh verschreien, aber es sieht jetzt ganz danach aus, als ob die Chinesen dieses Rennen vor dem Schweizer Duo und den Belgiern gewinnen würden.
So China in the lead. They've just passed the Swiss crew. They're up at 40 strokes a minute. Switzerland will hang on here to come through in second, and Belgium will hang on to come through in third. It's Norway that looks like they're going to be the ones to miss out. So coming across the line now, China takes the first spot in this first repechage of the lightweight men's double sculls, followed by Switzerland. Then Belgium, too, will take the third spot into the AB semi-final. Norway, too, just missing out. They will go through to the C final together with Egypt.
Und gewonnen wurde dieses Rennen von China vor dem jungen Schweizer Boot und Belgien. Diese 3 Boote gehen damit in den Halbfinal. Rang 4 für Norwegen und Rang 5 für Ägypten, die im C-Final wieder gegeneinander antreten werden.
Coming down the course now, the second repechage of the lightweight men's double sculls. In lane 1, Venezuela. In lane 2, the United States of America. In lane 3, Portugal 1. In lane 4, Chile. And in lane 5, Portugal 2.
Und wir kommen zum weiteren Hoffnungslauf, zweiten Hoffnungslauf des Männerleichtgewichtsdoppel-Zweier. Bahn 1 Venezuela, Bahn 2 USA, Bahn 3 Portugal 1, Bahn 4 Chile, Bahn 5 Portugal 2.
So it was a very quick start from the crew from Chile in the center of the course, but together with them, Portugal and the US, they're making their way towards the 900-meter mark, Camilla.
Yeah, lovely start for Chile here as they break clear water ahead of the chasing crews. And just as the train races past us here at 1,000 meters, it's all tightening up in the center behind the Chilean pairing as the US go head to head with Portugal for second place. Dropping back in third, well, it's the second of the Portuguese crews that just a length and a quarter back, and then out the back of the field, the Venezuelan combination over in lane number 1.
Es sieht sehr gut aus für die Chilenen auf Bahn Nummer 4. Sie führen hier dieses Rennen an. Auf dem zweiten Rang ist es ein Kampf zwischen den USA und Portugal 1. Portugal 1 haben sich erst jetzt in diesem Jahr für die Olympischen Spiele qualifizieren können. Pedro Fraga kann also seine dritten Olympischen Spiele in Angriff nehmen. Aber es ist noch nichts entschieden. Hier für den Halbfinal. Die letzten 3 Plätze des Tages werden vergeben.
Well, this Chilean combination in lane number 4, they've been racing together since they were under 23, so great to see that experience carrying through. But what a wonderful race here for second place. Perhaps not deciphering who goes through to the AB semi-finals, but a great race indeed, Tim.
Yeah, definitely, and a bit of a surprise to see the crew from Chile out in front, and there are no signs of them slowing down. They look really good. They look nicely together with 550 meters left to go. They have a comfortable margin over the crew right beside them, the first crew from Portugal, with the old hand Pedro Fraga in the bow seat, who is having a great battle with the American crew right beside him for second and third. Currently, the Portuguese crew still in second position, but it's a little over quarter canvas down to the Americans, who are also looking really good in this repechage. Just passing me now, it's the second crew from Portugal, a couple of lengths back from the head of the front of the field, and on the far side the crew from Venezuela have dropped off even further in the third 500, but out in front it's developing a great race between the USA and Portugal, and Chile still out in front, Gillian, or are they going to get overhauled in the sprint for the line by the USA and Portugal?
I don't think so, Tim. They've gone up to 40 strokes a minute and they're increasing their boat speed with that rate. So they're just stretching out their lead even a little bit, responding to that push from Portugal 1 and the United States. But those 3 crews are still looking pretty secure to go through to the AB semi-final.
Ja, Chile sieht hier sehr gut aus, weiterhin in Führung. Es sieht nach einem Start-Zielsieg aus. Führen weiterhin vor dem ersten Boot aus Portugal und den USA. Hier scheint es, das war ja eigentlich das enge Duell in diesem Hoffnungslauf, dass Portugal jetzt wahrscheinlich genug gemacht hat, um diesen zweiten Rang sich zu sichern vor der USA. Dann gefolgt diese 3 führenden Boote, die auch ins Halbfinale kommen werden, aller Voraussicht nach. Das zweite Boot aus Portugal und das Boot aus Venezuela.
So Portugal 1 just getting their nose in front of the United States just to get the better of them as they come up towards the line. But Chile, no doubt about it, out in front with about a boat length ahead of Portugal 1 coming up to the line. Now Chile takes the first spot in the second repechage of the lightweight men's double sculls. Portugal 1 coming through in second and the United States in third. Those 3 will go through to the AB semi-final. Portugal 2 will come through in fourth. They'll head to the C final along with Venezuela.
Und gewonnen wurde das Rennen von Chile vor Portugal und der USA. Diese 3 Boote gehen ins Halbfinale. Rang 4 für Portugal das zweite Boot und Venezuela. Diese beiden Boote werden im C-Final den Wettkampf fortführen.
that was it for this afternoon's racing. Those repechage races providing some excellent viewing for us here on the Rotsee. We'll get underway tomorrow morning with the D final of the men's double sculls at 9:36 tomorrow morning. We then work our way through the C finals on to some more semifinals and repechage races all the way through until 12:18 tomorrow morning.
Und das war jetzt vom heutigen Regattatag mit den Hoffnungsläufen und Viertelfinals am Nachmittag. Morgen startet es dann wieder mit den ersten D-Finals um 9:36 Uhr. Dann arbeiten wir uns vor durch die C-Finals und noch mehr Hoffnungsläufe und Halbfinals bis um 12:18 Uhr.
A big thanks to everyone for listening in today on the venue and at home. Very much looking forward to seeing you all back tomorrow. We get underway again at 9:36 with the D finals of the men's double sculls, working our way through the morning program and moving on. We do have 2 B finals and 2 A finals tomorrow afternoon. So the first medals will be handed out here in Lucerne for the lightweight women's sculls and the lightweight men's single sculls.
Und morgen Nachmittag dann schon bereits die ersten Highlights mit Medaillenvergaben. Wir beginnen mit den B-Finals im Leichtgewichtsmänner und Frauen Einer. Da folgen dann um 15:15 Uhr die A-Finals. Also unbedingt morgen 9:36 Uhr. Wir starten mit D-Finals, C-Finals, Halbfinals und dann die ersten Medaillen ab 15:15 Uhr.